Well, for more on Turkey's restoration of relations with Russia, we're joined by Pieter Cleppe. He is the head of the Brussels office of the think tank Open Europe. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Cleppe. While tensions have been very high between Russia and Turkey, something they share in common is that they have both been criticised quite a bit from other members of the EU. This visit that's happening now, how will that affect the relationship, Turkey's relationship with NATO?
Well, Turkey was at a certain point at the end of last year surrounded by, let's say, countries that it's not so much on a friendly footing with. So this is one of the reasons why Turkey now wants to improve relations with Russia. Now, in itself, I don't think that's bad news for NATO. I don't think NATO has any interest in increasing hostility between Turkey and Russia. However, if, of course, Turkey would also not mend ties with the West and with the European Union, that would be concerning. But I think eventually ties will also improve.
Well, I mean, Turkey and Russia have been softening the ground for this kind of meeting for quite some time. But recently, the US and Turkey have had quite a falling out after the failed coup attempt, and with the US refusing to, at this point, extradite Fethullah Gulen, who the Turkish government claims is responsible. Has this got anything to do with the strained relations between Turkey and the US, now Turkey building their relationship with Russia again?
I don't think Turkey really is planning to sort of swap the US as a partner for Russia. It's more about just the direct interest that the Turkish economy has in welcoming all these Russian tourists. Also, of course, they're very important energy ties. And now there's an interest in trying to talk to Russia in order to figure out what to do in Syria, where both players have opposite interests. However, the United States has been very annoyed with Turkey because it has dragged its feet to allow the US to use its NATO base in Turkey to start bombing the Islamic State. So, but that's also now history. The US can use that base. So I guess eventually the next big step will be for Turkey to prioritize improving relations with the West again.
So we've got the two major leaders here, the presidents from both countries, meeting today. If this meeting does go well, what does it mean for the average citizens of Turkey and indeed Russia?
Well, if Russia would lift sort of the arsenal of sanctions it has imposed on Turkey, then of course tourism could take up again. I think that would be actually a very good thing for both countries, for ordinary people also. Secondly, the pipeline between Russia and Turkey could become a project again. Ukraine is very concerned about it, the EU as well. But of course, the fact that two countries have a pipeline should also, I don't think, should in itself worry too much. I think as long as there's, of course, sufficient energy dependence, then I don't think we should be too worried about that. I mean, if there's more trade between Russia and Turkey, in the end, this will also benefit the wider region.
Pieter Cleppe from think tank Open Europe in Brussels. Thank you.